is In the Shadows Podcast. Lots of cigar talk, but if it's going on in the world, we'll be talking about that too. And by the way, the fellas don't shy away from controversial topics. Trust me. So grab that stick, kick back with your favorite drink, and let's do the thing. This is the In the Shadows Podcast. Now your hosts, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shadow Spokes Legion In the Shadow Podcast. And today we have me, your host, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin. And then we have Eric. And then we have special guest, Innocent. Innocent, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Yo, I'm Innocent, a.k.a. Inomatic, host of the Big Guilty Cigar Podcast. And I'm going to be joining my good friends, also Knuckleheads, on their podcast, and we're gonna have a good time today.
We automatically become knuckleheads now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, just a little bit. You know.
Okay. All right.
Come on now.
So for those people who doesn't know, Innocent's podcast, he interviews few people in the cigar industry, and you know, I often join his show here and there, and it was really good for him to join us today. And such a short notice. It's more like 3-minute notice. He's jump on to the chat room and we're like, let's record a chat. And then he goes, yeah, let's do it. So not too bad. Yeah. So not too bad. We can do this. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Just a little bit background. All right. Innocent is not like us smokers. He's very, I think, more close to an average Joe. Right. He have a budget to go with. He's got rent. He's got bill to pay. He cannot go out there and splurge on a cigar. He have to be very careful what he selected for cigar to smoke. And how long have you been smoking, Innocent?
For about 4 years now.
About 4 years. So yeah, I mean he's
about 4 years.
Palette and choices of cigars are very limited. Well, I shouldn't say limited. It should be selective, right? Selective. So you went through probably something that everybody went through, right? You went from the basic cigar, you found one that you like, and you're fanboy about that a little bit, and then you go find another one, you fanboy about that a little bit, and you find another one, you fanboy about that a little bit, right? So I think today it's good to. All right, I give you. Go ahead.
No, I would like you're making it seem like it's not a great selection from $15 down on cigars. Like it's an amazing selection from $15 down.
I'm saying that it's limited.
Okay.
Right? I'm saying that it's limited. Like, actually a lot of cigar out there are in the $15 and below range, right? So there's actually more cigar in that price range than a cigar that's not at that price range. Like you guys' price range. You guys are like the rare guys. It's the $20 $25 and up range.
What do you mean by that?
I know that, but I'm just saying, like,
oh no,
if
we
guys
smoke all
really
different range, right?
like, you're
I'm
like, all
pretty sure
right, well, Davidoff 10-year, $37, $37. I'll buy a box. It's like,
here's the thing, though. Eric and I is actually normal. You're the abnormal. Now, I might want to explain why, okay? In the cigar industry, cigar is supposed to be, well, at least at that period of time, a luxury. It's not something everybody go do. Most of the time, people buy a box, all right? The selling single cigar online, that kind of stuff, happened in recent years. It didn't happen before. It was something that people were surprised that any cigar shop would do. Back in the day, if you were buying a cigar online, you're buying a box. You're not buying one stick. You're not buying two sticks. You're buying a box. The only time you can buy a stick or two is when you go to a cigar shop where they have a humidor you can go pick. But if you're buying a cigar online at all, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, you're buying an entire box. The lowest, it's probably about a 5-pack maybe. So we are the normal. You're the abnormal.
Well, in my mind, like it's reversed. Like you guys are like the rare, and I'm the normal. Because most people that I smoke with is like all right, I bought a 5-pack of this. You know, it's not like, oh well, I just went and spent, you know, $300 on the box. You know, like,
but that's how you used to be.
Well, that's how it used to be, you know. But
which
now
was
it's
the norm.
like, you know, I wouldn't like. Here's it, like, not everybody can go and afford to actually to still pay
and exactly exactly. That's why. Exactly, that's what it is, right? Because that was a luxury. Not everybody can do that. They made it so that nowadays even the common people can go. And it sounds bad, but like, you know, I'm putting in the grain scheme very high level, right? In right now we have those newer cigars, those bundle cigars. They were affordable, but back in the day that wasn't the case. The cigar was a very luxurious thing. Only a certain earning wealth level would do, and this is why cigar wasn't that popular for a long time, right? Because it wasn't something that most people can do. So cigarette was, you know, really break into the market. It's like, you know, we're that cheap. Everybody can do it. You know, it's like, you know, $5 a pack. You know, everybody can do it. That's how that tobacco industry kind of flourished, because everybody can do it. It was cool. Everybody can carry it. But cigar, ever since when it started, it was always been something that of luxurious thing, right? You know, Winston Churchill literally smoked himself to death.
So I have a question for you. How much? So back 8 years ago, how much did the Davidoff Millennium cost 8 years ago?
8 years ago, roughly the same.
Because right now it's right now it's around $18, right?
Yeah, it's about the same.
It didn't change much.
Yeah, like $14, $15.
So back then it'd be like $15. So
you know, for
really
a box
difference.
of Millenniums for $14, $15 isn't that bad. It's not going to kill you. You know, especially if you like that cigar, and it's not going to beat you up as far as something like if you're paying, you know, $25 a stick for a box of 20.
But you have to think it this way. No, but then that's the thing. $16 box of 20
$25
is still
steak for a box of
something
20,
of
that would
someone's
be a good
paycheck
deal.
per week,
Yeah, of course.
right? So
But,
the price
you
didn't
know-
change, inflation changed. So right now, $16 doesn't seem like a lot, but 8 years ago, 10 years ago, $16 was worth differently than today. Today, $16 buys you a dozen and a half eggs.
Yeah, because like like maybe 8 years ago, like the legal provider number 9 was around what, like $10.
Okay, so to get a box of cigars is $200. And what is average earning line back 10 years ago?
Well, 10 years.
10 years ago, minimum wage was $8. Well, actually $7.50.
About $9.
$7.50.
$9
So do
an
you know
hour?
how many hours you had to work just to get a box of cigar
Yeah,
before you
under.
pay your rent and bills? You see what I'm saying? Back in the day, that's still a lot. And for average people who's earning, I don't know, $800, $900 every 2 weeks, that's rent. That's rent. So
That's
you know, and they tell you to shout it out
rough.
altogether for
really rough.
22 hours of enjoyment. Basically, you're paying your wage away, right? So, like, if you make $8 an hour, you got to pay 2 hours of your wage before tax to get 1 hour of enjoyment. That's a luxury.
Yeah, but you know, most people that
Yep.
you know, at least from what I see, and especially even in my cigar lounge, most people that smoke cigars aren't working for minimum wage. They make a decent living, which doesn't mean they make a lot of money, but they make enough to where, you know, the ends meet. So they're not so you know, it's not a person that is a you know, I don't want to down anybody's jobs, but like a cashier at Walmart, something like that.
But that's an average earning. An average earning line back in the day, 10 years ago, is probably roughly about $29,000 a person.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not what a Davidoff's client target is. They're targeting people that makes $100,000 a year, if not more. So, you know, the target is different.
Yeah, but if you're making $100,000 a year, you know, you paying $250 for that box is nothing.
Right. And that's why I say it's a luxury, right? It's for people who have certain kind of earning to do so. Right now, it's a lot easier, right? Right now, it's a good thing that right now it's a lot easier than thanks to inflation, right? So due to inflation, a lot of places, a lot of states, minimum wage is $15. So you just have to work 1 hour. You can't afford a davidoff, right? Technically, before tax. So that's what I'm saying. You know, if it's $15 and below, even at $15 is still somewhat of a luxury, right? $20 you can back 10 years ago, $20 you can take a couple of your kids to go see movies.
Oh yeah.
On a Sunday. Yeah. $20 you can have a dinner. $20 you can have
eat good food too. Tell the truth.
4 McDonald's meal. Right now, $20 you can have 2 McDonald's meal.
Well, 10 years ago, man. We would say what? I remember 10 years ago, like for 2 double cheeseburgers, that combo was $7.
Right, but 2 double cheeseburger meal back in the day was like $2, $3.
No, not for the meal. No.
Yes.
Back in
the double
back in like 2010. Nah, back in 2010. Back in 2010, it was still, it was still $7, $8.
I can remember a time where I can get a Whopper meal, large king size, at just under $6. Today, a Whopper meal, king size, you're paying $12 to $13.
Because I remember I used to always pay about $7.50 for a supersize, 2 cheeseburgers, large fry, and a supersized Coke for like $7.50.
Yeah, but that's the thing. A cheeseburger was $1. It's a dollar item. It's a dollar menu item. So 2 of them is only $2. A drink is about $1. A fry is about $1. That should be about $4 to $5.
Nah, but now
those items were on the dollar menu back in the days.
Yeah, but a small fry is $1.
Should be like
not like a medium or large fry.
But medium fry was $1.30. Medium fry was $1.30. Large fry was $1.70 something.
Oh, there's a certain time that you go to McDonald's.
What was this?
This is back in the day. I'm pretty sure.
Nah.
Pretty sure.
Well, back in the 90s, it was. You could
not in the 90s, 2000, early 2000.
You get the whole meal.
Early mid 2000, yeah.
No, not in the 90s.
In the early 2000s,
it wasn't the 90s, bro.
Early 2000s, for $5, I would get a small fry, and the double cheeseburger was on a dollar menu.
Yeah,
but
they were on the dollar menu.
But you still have to worry about like a large,
large fries were cheap.
Like a large.
I remember that for sure because like that's what I eat whenever I run around for no reason. Go out, hang out. I would get a large fries rather than a burger. But the point was that it's still a luxury. For 1 hour, you're spending that kind of money for 1 hour enjoyment, right? And that's besides the fact that you might have to find a lounge to smoke it. You cannot buy a single. You got to buy boxes. Like I said, the buying the single thing was so new that people were amazed that you can actually do that. I remember Thompson Cigar. Right now, it was sold to some other company now. Back in the day, when it was still owned by themselves, they had a limit that you had to buy at least 5 packs. And that's not like you can choose one of this, one of that, one of this, one of that. Whatever you choose is 5 packs. That's a minimum.
Yeah, I remember this guy.
And you had to buy 4 or 5 packs and stuff like that.
Saying, "Oh my God, they're this site that sells singles now." I was like, "What? Like really?"
Yeah. So singles was actually something that you can only do in the store, and they allow you to do that now online. So that, cigar industry has changed a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it was a luxury, right? So looping back to where we're talking about, for most people with earnings and expenses and stuff like that, you got to pay your bill first. After you pay your bills, you only have so much money to buy cigars. Now, let's get to the hard part. Innocent. Be honest, okay? How much budget do you have to buy cigar per month?
Way too fucking much. I spend way too much on cigars. It's a problem.
A reasonable average.
I probably spend maybe $120 a week on cigars.
Okay, $120 a week a cigar. That's barely a box, right? Barely a box. A week, you say? A month or a week?
So he spent like about a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's put that in perspective, all right? Let's put that in perspective. How much money do you make per year? Just a rough average is fine.
I make over 100.
Okay, see? So you are in the target where you can actually buy $16 cigars.
Yeah.
Now if we go back to the conversation where we talk about average Average people, okay? Average people makes about $30,000
You're
a
not
year.
average innocent.
So that's 1/3 of what you make. 1/3 of what you make, still paying the same amount of expense. The expense doesn't get lower, right? The expense is the same, 1/3 of what you make. So technically, they should have less than 1/3 amount of money for them to buy cigar, right? Less than 1/3. Now, if you can buy roughly $200, 1/3 of that is only $60 a week. At a $15 cigar, that's
Going
4
back to
cigar a
this
week.
thing that he's think that I'm not, or that we're not average or whatever. Innocent. You know, you make more than me. So
And this just happens to have more expense than you.
Basically, that's true.
Yeah,
Because he's got kids and stuff, right? But like I say, expense, right? And different locations living. He live in New Jersey and goes to New York. Everything's higher there. With the exception of sliced pizza, you have dollar sliced pizza, you can get full.
So the way you have to think about it like this, like, you know, you have to cut everything in half up here, you know, because like in New York, like you could be making $150,000 a year and you're still living paycheck to paycheck.
That's
Just because the cost of rent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Rents are high up here. You know, everything's a little bit higher up here.
But let's be honest, okay, Innocent. If you are not working in New York, you wouldn't making as much as you do because it's adjusted living.
Over in Jersey, you know, you can make around the same. If it all depends on your job up here.
I guarantee if you just say from now on I will work in whatever department that you have. I don't want to give away what you do. So whatever department that you work in New Jersey, they will dock your pay to $60,000.
Honestly, like my pay right now is around like 65, but I do so much overtime. That's why I'm able to get to that number.
Okay, so yeah, that's so $60,000. That's in New York, right? Before OT. Yeah. But if you adjust to living, your job probably only pay you maybe 30 or 40 in other states. Right.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing too is like in New York, the way that things work, you know, when it comes to like most people have to kind of work overtime because if you look at most jobs as far as like construction workers or, you know, construction, people that work for the cable company, any union job, anybody that has a union job, they make their money off of doing overtime.
You're talking about it because you had to make ends meet, right? Because like, you know, you have to travel every day, you have travel expense, you have, you know, things to pay, food and all that stuff. Of course, like I said, it's still adjust to living, right? And an average job, I can tell that average job that does what you do are between $40,000 to $50,000. Depends where you are. If you're in Florida, you can pay even less, right? It's adjust to living.
Yeah, but
so think about people in Florida at that earning $40,000 a year. How much expense after they pay everything else do they have to buy cigars? Not a lot.
So I have an interesting stat for you. Do you know that Florida is probably the most expensive city to live in just because of the pay rate? So people are paying overpriced rent, but the pay doesn't balance it.
Well, it really depends where you are, right? Because if you're in the tourist zone, you're gonna pay more. And Florida is like 90% tourism.
Yeah.
Right? Tampa is tourism. Miami is tourism. You know, the others, Kissimmee is tourism. Everything is tourism. So if you live around that places, you gotta end up paying the tourism price for the real estate. But you know, if you're outside of that, you'll be cheaper. Right? If you think about that way. So yeah, it really depends on the expense and stuff like that. But yeah, looping back, most people do treat cigar as a luxury. It's not something that you can go in there every day and buy a box or two or three. Yeah. I'm the exception. Eric is kind of exception because he had no expense to a degree that he can afford it, right? And once you have kids, things change.
It could change,
right?
A lot.
Or could not.
Yeah. Also, with the amount of hour I work, I'm probably working, you know, crazy amount of overtime if you think about it that way. But my boss doesn't pay me.
I don't work that
my
much.
boss cheap.
It's okay. It's just every day.
Right? So yeah. Now, moving to that point, Anderson, let's talk about you as being average Joe. Like I'm gonna treat you like an average Joe because that's what I think you are. I don't think about how much money you make, but the expenses that you use, right? I'm thinking about you as someone that makes a comfortable living, still somewhat can afford X amount of cigars and live okay, right? Doesn't have a mansion, doesn't have AMGs to drive around, but goes to work day to day because entertainment is limited based on your expense. Okay, so that description sounds about right.
Yeah, we go with that. We can go with that.
Okay, so let's talk about a few of your favorite brands. Okay, and that could be anything. You can say any brand that's your favorite brand. I'm not gonna beep you out for that. So
really, you sure about that?
I'm sure about that. I'm sure about that. I'm gonna be honest here. All right. So tell me a few of the cigar. First, tell me a few of the cigar brand that you have smoked so far.
A few that I've smoked.
Well, how about this? Tell me the cigar brands that you have at least 4 or 5 cigars from their brand already.
So damn, that's a lot. Drew Estate, Casa Cuevas, the Sanchez line, AJ. I've had Perdomo, sadly enough. Like you name it, everything pretty much under $15. I've pretty much had it, like
we're
Crown
talking
Heads.
That's a huge range, right? Ashton,
So
Oliva.
I've had Ashton. I haven't had Ashton because Ashton is a little pricey for me, so I don't really go to Ashton.
Ashton is the same price range.
Oliva's around like $11, the V series around $11, and
Ashton have $6 to $8 cigars.
No, well, so like if you talk about Ashton, I love La Roma de la Cuba. I love San Cristobal's. So if you want to consider those under Ashton, then yeah, I smoke a lot of those. Of course I've smoked a few Fuentes. I don't have regular access to those, but another brand that it's not a high side, but I do like Foundation.
Okay.
I smoke a lot of Foundation cigars.
AJ's?
Cardwell. Yeah, AJ Cardwell's. I dabble a little bit in LFD, not too much stuff in LFD. I'm not a big fan of LFD cigars. Tatuate.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see who else. Well, what else have I? Dumbarton, of course.
Dumbarton.
Even Dumbarton.
Dumbarton is out of that price range, though. Dumbarton's above that price range.
It's about that price range, but he does have some sticks that are below $15. So he has the Umaga stuff like that's around $9-10, and I don't smoke Avo at all. I think Avo's a shitty brand.
Well,
I do, man.
There's a reason why we're laughing.
I didn't say anything. Right.
So
I don't think Avo is that good of a brand anyway.
Not that great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you ask me to choose between Avo or Camacho,
I take Camacho.
I'll take Camacho any day.
Yeah. So, I smoke CLE. I like CLE as a brand.
Okay.
And Illusione, even though Illusione is on the pricier side, but I do smoke their stuff that is around, between, Illusione, they do have some stuff that's between 9 and 13, because my price, like anything above like 14 is like my cutoff.
Okay.
I mean,
so
at $14, you have access to almost all cigars anyway.
Exactly.
Majority entry to mid-range cigars are around that. price.
I pretty much named almost everything out there. Like I smoke a lot. The only thing I don't have access to that I don't buy is I don't buy Padrones a lot. I don't buy Davidoff a lot. I don't buy God of Fire or Byron's. So stuff like that, I stay away from.
Okay, so now that you
Opus.
name a few, right? Now that you name a few, give me
Yeah.
the top 3 brand that you will buy. Like if you have money today and you were to replenish your cigars, which top 3 brand would you buy it from?
So actually, I forgot the name. I really like Espinosa a lot. Casa Cuevas, and of course Sanja stuff. I love.
No, I mean like you have money.
You know, if I had that, you know, the because of you, Eric, those goddamn Byrons are just fire. But I do like Padrones. You know, everyone that I've had is really good. But Padrones, they do have the 3000 series that's around $10.
Yep, but their
So-
number series like the 1000, 2000,
Yeah.
3000. Those are very
Yeah,
affordable
so-
range.
Yeah, so very affordable range. But you know, like the 1964, 1926, you know, like when I do get to have those, Padrones I really enjoy.
Okay, all right.
And
Let's talk about your least favorite, like hated brand. Three of them.
you really
Yes,
gonna make me
do
stomp
it.
on these people?
This is why we're here.
Oh man.
That's what the show about.
We're here for that.
We're here to get in trouble.
So Padrone is definitely one of them.
Wait, hold on.
You hate Padron?
I got a little confused there. Did you say Padron? But then you say if you have money,
I did.
Did
Well,
it?
he's not the only one though.
Yeah, but the
I
thing is,
don't like
he
Padron
just,
either.
But he just say if he have money,
So
he will
it's-
buy them
it's-
though.
It's around like three or four sticks from Padron that I would actually buy. That's about it. Everything else in the line I think is dog shit.
But they don't have that much of a line.
No, well, they got like the only thing I smoke from them is the 10-year Maduro, 10-year Habano, and then
Wait,
they have
what's-
the barrel aged one.
But that defeats the point though. That means you don't hate them that much. I'm talking about the 3 brands that you hate so much you will not buy a single cigar from.
Oh,
Yep, we're doing this right now.
Oh, yeah.
'cause I'm trying to. Oh,
You should know which is like
Damn.
3 brands that you would not buy from.
well,
With the
It's a lot-
exception
it's-
that you
it's a-
actually try to punish somebody. Like if you were trying to punish somebody, you'll buy it. That's a different story. But like you would not
Well-
buy it to smoke for yourself.
oh no, well, of course, Gurkha's on the list.
Okay, Gurkha.
I think Gurkha will be on everybody's list. I'm trying to think of another brand that I've smoked that was just poor quality, and I really didn't enjoy. It would if I could be really honest, the only thing that I liked from Tadawate was probably just T110. Everything else from them I really didn't enjoy.
You still buy it, right? So
Like,
I'm talking about the one
Yeah,
you won't buy.
at
Yeah.
all. Like you won't. When
Yeah,
you see it,
you
you're
won't
like,
buy
fuck
it.
that cigar.
Yeah, so bad that you will never want to talk to the owner.
Probably Monte Cristo. I
Monte
don't like Monte
Cristo.
Cristos.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
right.
like the American Monte Cristo, General Monte Cristos.
wow.
All right.
Yeah, it's shit.
Okay.
I really like it's fucking garbage.
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
all right,
There you
all right.
go. There
That's
you
some
go.
strong word there. Okay, there you go. We start somewhere, right?
You
All right,
know,
so Gurkha, Monte Cristo. What else?
Let's see. Man,
Shouldn't be this hard.
because now I'm. Yeah, because you start going through the Rolodex and you really start thinking about what brands you smoked and what brands you like.
He's going
It's
through the,
way
like, the
overrated.
business cards, like which one is supposed to talk to next week. I'm gonna make sure I don't use the brand.
Well, those brands I'll never fucking ask to come on the fucking podcast anyway. But
I would think
Oh, man.
Podomo is on your list, but
Yeah,
you
it's
haven't
crazy that
said
you haven't
Podomo
said
yet.
no, I did say Perdomo.
No, you say
I said
Perdomo.
Perdomo, but
You say Gurkha
Yeah.
and Padron.
no, not Perdomo. Perdomo.
No, you say Padron.
No, you say
That's why I
Padron.
was-
We got this recorded.
That's
We
why I
can
was
play
so
it back.
confused. That's why I was so confused.
No, not Padron. No, I said that I like Padron.
No,
Perdomo
you-
is definitely on the fucking
I
list.
got a little confused.
Okay.
there.
Perdomo.
Yeah.
That's not what
We'll
you
let you
say, but we'll
pass.
let you pass. And when
Yeah.
this,
Perdomo-
the
Perdomo's-
listener will be like,
Perdomo-
"What the hell is
All
Innocent
right, now
talking
we
about?"
corrected
But
that.
sure.
All right.
Yeah, but
All right.
yeah,
so,
Perdomo's definitely on the fucking
so
list.
Podomo, Gurkha, and Monte Cristo.
Yes, Monte Cristo is dog shit. And CAO is very close on that list. CAO is very close on.
Okay.
Yeah, CAO is very close on that list. CAO is very close on that list. But it like not well, that's a Gurkha cigar, but it's a few companies that when they make their budget sticks, you're like, this is just dog shit. But those three right there, I would definitely not recommend to anybody. I would never recommend anybody smoke a Monte Cristo. I think most shit from General is just, I'm not a big fan of. Like I'm not a fan of Cohiba, the general brand of Cohiba. The only one I've smoked that I enjoyed was the Cohiba Black. Every other one from the Red Dot series, I think is shit.
Okay.
The red, the blue, you fucking name it. It's garbage.
I will not question that. I actually think the same way.
So there's only two Cohiba Red Dot. So there you go. So anything in that fucking General Cigar fucking cabinet to me is dog shit. Well, they make a lot of bullshit. Yeah,
they make a lot of garbage.
Cigar brand out there that's in general.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I said, like General, they have CAO. I'm not a fan of CAO. I'm not a fan of Monte Cristo. I'm not a fan of Cohiba. I'm trying to think of what else is in that General Cigar fucking humidor. Well, because like when you normally go to like a brick and mortar, like you can kind of tell like they won't have a lot of boutique stuff. They'll have like the General Cigar wall.
No, it depends on which one you go to. I mean, I've been to a few where all they had was boutique. There is one that's in Arizona that's 100% boutique.
No, well that's different. But I'm saying like because General Cigars will fill your humidor for you and give you a lot of credit just to get their stuff in the humidor. They'll say just pay us later.
Oh yeah, because you got to know this because they own so many brands. So when they have a requirement how many facings you need, you can easily fill it. Unlike to have a whole wall of Davidoff, you go bankrupt.
Yeah, but like when I see humidor like that, I think it's a lot of garbage, a lot of bullshit.
I want to say that's the garbage, right? For beginners, so you had to start somewhere, right? You cannot just
that's the thing. Like for beginners, it's fine. Like you gotta understand this too. Beginners think that the Cohiba Red Dot is from the same company. Is made by the same regular Cohiba company. They don't know the difference. They don't know that's not.
But regardless, you know those are those sells most, right? For any brick and mortar.
I'm not saying that they don't sell, but your average person is not going to know that it's two different brands.
Even if they know, they'll still smoke it. I mean, here's the thing, right? Again, when we're talking about average person, when you're looking at average person, you think that they got to spend the money on a Cohiba?
No. Yeah.
It's $20 a stick.
Yeah, well, it's $20 a stick, but they feel like they may think that Cohiba is just a lesser brand of Cohiba.
Again, average people isn't going to spend $20 on a cigar, right?
No, I'm not saying they are, but they're thinking that this is Cohiba's affordable line.
No, I don't think anybody look at Cohiba and say it's
because
affordable.
I don't think anybody was the Cohiba is affordable.
Because like.
I would talk about the U.S. Cohiba.
It's not at all.
It's not affordable at all.
You know who else? You know who else? I'm not a big fan of either. Is Romeo by Julieta.
I actually like that.
Romeo
Julieta Reserva Rio is one of my favorite.
Wow.
Like I like a couple of their sticks, but like the was it the Bully the 1876 whatever one they got. I think that the red label one, that's just garbage.
To me, they're too light. I don't like them like that.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it.
But even for Romeo, that's a beginner cigar too. That's how like when you start to learn to get used to a medium strength, to get some taste. That's the brand you go to.
A lot of beginner go to there.
Well, but here's the thing: is H. Upman. Not a big fan of that one.
H. Upman,
from Cohiba. I mean from General.
H. Upmann, I think they actually have quite a few good stuff.
I'm surprised you said that.
Yeah, like the ones I had, like I've had maybe 2, maybe 3 or 4, and out of it, only one that I liked, and that was the one with the blue label. Because everything that I smoked from them it was to me at least, it was like smoking air.
You didn't like
I didn't get a lot from that's the one.
It's green,
that's
bro.
the Banker's green.
That's the one. Oh, green, yeah, green. That's the one I had. Brian gave that one to me.
Yeah, the Banker is really badass cigar. So really hold on your hand. You gotta go through like 5 different wrappers just to smoke.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think I think based on what I hear, your palate.
Sorry. So I forgot one brand that when I smoke, Rocky Patel.
Rocky Patel only have maybe 2 or 3 good cigars in the entire line.
I would say about 2.
Yeah.
So Rocky's definitely
1990, and I don't know when they make Filthy Viking, it was great, but they stopped making that.
Tony, did you smoke the 60 yet? Rocky Patel 60.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
That one I like a lot.
60 wasn't bad.
I don't know why. I like it a lot.
60 wasn't bad.
I thought it was just average.
I remember I was out with my boy up in New Rochelle. Went to a spot, and I was around like maybe 6 people I grew up with, and all they smoked was fucking Rocky white label.
I know there's a lot of people that smoke Rocky, and I don't know why.
I said what the fuck? I said out of all, he said the Rocky white label never misses. I go, it never fucking hits.
Got no flavor. It got no flavor whatsoever.
It don't hit.
Rocky is another beginner cigar to go to though. Like if you just started, that one has a almost muted tobacco taste. Almost.
And the thing's like Rocky Patel is very reachable.
And I think that's easier to smoke.
He has so many cigars, so many lines, and so many different price point on it.
Yeah, you can get a Rocky Patel for $6. So, and it's like if you just started, go to the shop, they gotta tell you Oliva, Rocky Patel, right? Ashton. Leaf. I like Leaf by Oscar. I think like the Sumatra to me is really good. They're actually not bad. So but then you can tell like the cigar he does not like, that Innocent does not like, are the entry level stuff.
It really is.
Yeah, it's like you pass that stage that you don't like it. Here's the thing though, like for me. We don't really smoke the entry level stuff anymore, right? But once in a while, we will still go pick one up just for the heck of it. For like nostalgic kind of things. Like, hey, I smoked this thing, and then you smoke it, you're like, I don't remember it tastes like that shitty.
That's why we stopped.
But then you get what you pay for. Number one, you get what you pay for. The price range is low. Number 2, the strength is not very high. It won't get you sick. You can chat with it. You're not gonna get you sick. Right? So a lot of beginners like to go to those because there's not a lot of strength. But if you don't have a lot of strength, you don't have a lot of tobacco, that will get you sick in there, and which doesn't give you a lot of flavor either. So I think even though we don't like it anymore, it helped people, and that was the main point of why those cigars were created. It was supposed to be light, easy, everybody can smoke it, kind of thing. Now imagine it's your first time where you never had a smoked cigar before. And you went with your friend who goes in there. The first thing he's gonna grab is like the freaking digger, and then you're like, oh, can I smoke one of those? He said, no. You come over here, look at that, see that Rocky? Get a Rocky, and you'll be fine.
No,
right? It's one of those.
Not me.
And if you smoke a Rocky, say this is too light, and you're like, okay, good boy. Let's go over there to the medium body ones, right? But there are some that's like, I really don't taste anything other than tobacco. It's just bitter and, nothing. Then, that's the flavor that they had to get over with.
Everybody has to get over that flavor, right?
Yeah, it's like drinking. You got to get over that
that nastiness, that burn, and everything that comes with it.
Right? Yeah. Like when your first time you're drinking beer, you go to a bar, all you smell is barf.
Nasty.
Right? And then it's like, it's like, why do people like hop? It's so bitter. Right, but it's an acquired taste, right? Whenever I give my wife a sip of whiskey, she makes this face.
You know what?
She makes this face. She just hates that barrel taste.
The older I get, the more bitterness I like.
Right, when you like a strong bitterness.
I can't drink beer for the life of me. I like. I could try like Brian put me on the craft beers. I could drink craft beers.
Well, that's because craft beer cover
Guinness.
up the hop taste.
Yeah, so that and Guinness, I could drink a Guinness very, very slowly. So
yeah, it's because you don't like the hop, and then all beer use hop to preserve and give some flavor. So that's why people don't like it. But it's an acquired taste. Once people like that hop taste, like get over that hop taste, then that's what you like. It's similar to some delicacy that Asians will eat. We got over that taste and we liked it.
Shit we're eating,
right? And you give it to another race, another nationality. To say, hey, here you go. Here's a century egg. They chow it down. They're like, oh, that's the nastiest thing I've ever eaten. What is that taste? What is that thing? And it's like I grew up eating it, so we kind of got used to it. Same thing with tobacco. You got to get used over that tobacco flavor, that initial burn taste when you're lighting up a cigar, all that stuff to start to enjoy. So, it's not like you're not going to like cigar day one, right? You got to like cigar after you've had a few cigars. You like the experience. You don't like the flavor.
The experience, yes.
That's for sure.
Automatically. I like the feel, the way the cigar holds, the way it smoke, how long it take. It just makes me feel like a fucking badass sometime,
Right? Like mafia right there. You sit down, lean back, and you're having a good conversation. And that's really what it is.
You know what? It's interesting because I always feel like a beer with a cigar, it kind of, I feel like it's not a good palate cleanser. I kind of feel like a beer would coat your palate to kind of alter the taste of a cigar.
Beer is not a good pairing for cigars, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I always don't pair with beer unless I have to. Like, we don't have anything other than beer. And if they don't have any soda, or then beer it is, right? But majority of the time we'll go with soda or bourbon.
Yeah,
a good drink or something like that.
I do drink my
to go with
with
that.
cigars sometimes. So,
well, Guinness is its own category of beer.
Yeah. Like I would have to go with something in that same category as a Guinness, beer, like something like Guinness is because Guinness is considered a lager, right?
Is it considered a lager? It's so dark. I don't know if it will consider as a lager.
Yeah.
But while we talk about that, I can look it up.
Yeah.
Guinness.
Because like recently,
it's a stout.
Okay.
Stout. Okay. Yep.
Right. So it's just different category. I mean, I've eaten like ice cream that has stout and like bourbon taste to it, and they
really?
kind of match a little bit. But if you just do regular, the ice cream they're actually not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you put a little bit of woodsiness to it, it wouldn't be too bad. But if you're going with something
like
else, it's a different story.
Like
regular
bottle.
beer, right? Lager, ale, they don't really. Yeah. So, Anderson, let's talk about you, right? Let's talk about when did you start to go like, you know what? I'm going to start doing podcast interviews and videos on YouTube and stuff like that. When did you start?
So originally it was, so here's a crazy story. So originally, my first podcast idea was actually going to be a boxing podcast with Rick's uncle. We spoke about this one for like 2 years, and we were supposed to do a boxing podcast together, and then it came together to do a cigar podcast. And I was like, all right, there's no problem. Like at first, it was gonna be just, Alex started smoking cigars, then I started smoking cigars, because at the time we were super close because he lived right next door, so we always see each other. And we would just sit there and talk boxing. Then from boxing, it went to cigars. So he's like, "Yo, let's do a cigar podcast." Like, yeah, let's do it. We have a cigar and talk box, talk other shit. Then it turned into a full-fledged, podcast when Alex brought Rick on board, and that's when that's when everything really came together with Sticks and Fire. And then from there, I'm not gonna get into details on what happened there, but Sticks and Fire kind of, went away. And then from there, one night Tony Tony kind of talked me into starting Big Guilty Cigars. And he's like, you're going to start it now. And my idea of, for a podcast is something that people could really enjoy and kind of get away. And it doesn't have to be and always have just different, interesting guests, because you always want people to learn something new on the podcast or just different information. So my idea for a podcast was not just always doing cigars. It's get anybody with an interesting story, because a podcast should be it should be kind of interesting conversation with storytelling, because the story is what gonna get people to really be involved and really catch their ear, because like, oh shit, I can't believe that happened, or like if I was to get somebody that lived in Newark in 1960s, and we don't know about Newark in 1960s, but you're finding out information about what happened in Newark in 1960s. So in a time when, how was Newark after Malcolm X passed away? Newark was wild because of the fact that, Newark has a very, very big Muslim community. It's like most of the blacks here are Muslim. So, when that happened, there were riots, because of his death, and there was also a tear. So, if I can get somebody like that on the podcast to come on and talk about that right there is something that you, Tony, didn't know about, you, Eric, didn't know about, but also too, you're like, man, like I had no idea that the Nation of Islam was like that. And that's not saying that I'm a part of the Nation of Islam, but it's an interesting story. It was an interesting time. It's the same thing with with as far as the area that I live at now. It used to be all Italian and Polish.
Really?
Okay.
And I can get somebody on the show. We have a cigar together. We sit and we're talking, but we're talking about old Newark. And just how much Newark has changed, how it went from being a mafia city to how it is now. Or even just having, like represent, like having Val on and having Val talk about competitive grilling, or just having other people that are into that lifestyle. So to me, that to me is what a podcast is about. It's cigar based, but at the same time, I want to get interesting people on to tell interesting stories, so people can learn about different walks of life and different people's upbringings. So, to me, a podcast should be the art of storytelling.
Sure. So let's talk about your channel, right? Big Guilty Cigar Podcast.
Yeah.
And, for those people who doesn't know, is Big Guilty Cigar 6. That's the channel name. I don't know why. But
the channel, yeah. They gave me the 6. I don't know why.
Yeah, so there's a 6 at the end. But let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 podcasts. 8 podcasts by now?
Yeah, 8. Yeah, well, yeah, 8 or 9.
8 or 9, right? So if somebody was to stumble across your podcast today, which one you will say is if they can only look at one, because your podcast is long, okay? And if they can only have time for one, which one you think they should look at? Like which one you think you must listen to it if they were to really get to know you and really get to know like your style of podcast and get to know some information? Which one would it be?
It's kind of like I would say my favorite 2 podcasts that guests that I had on was probably Luis Cuevas. I really enjoyed having Hector Alonso on because I'm a tobacco guy. If I don't want to talk to the cigar owner, the owner of the brand. I want to talk to the master blender. I want to know about the the tobacco itself and put it in and putting blends together and your thought process of when you're blending. So, Lewis is a blender. Hector is the master blender for Espinosa cigars. So probably those two are probably two of my favorites.
Okay, so I would say right now is about time where we cut off, but I will want to let the listener know to check out your podcast. Right now, at the time of the recording, there's about 9 of them. Some of them are not cigar related because we have some bourbon one. I think there's a couple of bourbon one or whiskey information on there.
It's a couple of whiskey ones on there. Tom Fisher is one of the top 5 whiskey sommeliers in the U.S. So he's he started the bourbon blog back like 17 years ago. And he's also one of the more respected people in the bourbon game, just because of he's tasted everything. So he's tasted everything. He's been around everybody, so he knows his stuff when it comes to bourbon. So that one right there was very good.
Yeah. So for those people who are listening and you're interested, make sure to go to his channel and check out the one from Hector Alfonso, check out the one from Tom Fisher, and check the one from Cueva Cigars. I gotta warn you, the Cueva cigar one is long.
It's
so very, very long.
Listen. Hey, it was Albert's fault.
It's long. It's just under 3 hour long.
It's good content.
Just under 3 hours.
Yeah, it's good content, but it's long. So go check it out. And kind of support small channels for now. While he's growing. I don't know. By the time this episode released, he might be a big shot with like 500 reviews and shit. Right? So you never know. Yeah. So we'll definitely have Anderson on again, talk about, various things. Now that this episode really get people to know you. And, and next one, we can really talk about maybe current cigars, like cigars that you plan to smoke or you haven't smoked yet. At that time, you will have to broke out of your price zone and then get into a $40 cigar, $50 cigar.
The cheapness in me won't allow it.
You never know. You never know. We all started somewhere.
I gotta make you somewhere. Yeah, you have to treat me, so be careful.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is that I'm a quantity guy. So I'll look at a $30 cigar and say, for $30, I can get 4 cigars for $30. So why?
But that's not true, because you can go like, for $40, I can buy 40 cigar bundle.
Oh, you know what brand I forgot that I really enjoy is EP Carrillo's line also. And his cigars is around $12.
EP Carrillo is ranged. Okay, it's between $12 to $20 something. It really depends what you get. So they don't have good stuff.
That's the Elysian.
Huh?
No, I said that's the Elysian.
But there's a few things, right? EPC, they have good cigars, so they have various. One thing EPC did well is their packaging, so I tend to get their cigar as well. So.
Yes.
Right. So that will be it for this particular podcast. Make sure to visit Big Guilty Cigars Podcast and listen to their podcast. And if you like it, comment on his videos, subscribe to him, and all that stuff. You know the drill. All right. So
tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, unless you're Eric and no friend.
That's so true. That's not wrong.
Okay. All right. So that's it for this podcast. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to the In the Shadows podcast. There's nothing like a fine cigar, and that's our passion. And on the show, we'll talk about everything and anything cigars. And you know what happens when you get a bunch of guys together smoking cigars. The conversations go on. And that is what this show is all about. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. Remember, everything you need is on YouTube at Soy Sauce Assassin. The live show is every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And get cigar reviews. Wishing you long ashes. We'll see you next time on In the Shadows Podcast.